Welcome to one of the fastest growing sports YouTube channels out there, Gold and Blue Dude. And that's because I'm the sports YouTube channel for the people. But I have to say, as a West Virginia fan, this opening week was possibly the worst opening week ever to be a West Virginia fan. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me again, Gold and Blue Dude. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I do college football videos every single day. I'd really have to think long and hard to come up with an opening week for college football that was worse for a West Virginia fan. Everything that you didn't want to happen happened in this opening week. Number 21 Texas beats number 23 Louisiana convincingly, 38-18. Horns down, but they won. I hate it. Marshall, even though they're not a rival, they try to step up and say they're a rival. Absolutely stomped a mud hole in Navy, 49-7. Virginia Tech, a much-hated rival, upsets number 10 North Carolina, 17-10. I was not happy about that. North Carolina, what are you doing? Then, of course, Pitt. I know they only played UMass, but they won as well, 51-7. And then there's West Virginia. Maryland's not a top-tier rival, but they're a pretty good rival for West Virginia, so this was a big game. I thought West Virginia had this in the bag. Just going to be honest with you. I think we were the superior team. We had the better coaching staff. I thought we were going to win this by 2 possessions. That did not happen at all. Why? Because of our offense. Our defense had a slow start, but once they got it together, our defense actually had a pretty good game. It was our offense that looked absolutely terrible, and it came down to Jarrett Daggy. Our quarterback, Jarrett Daggy, 24 for 40, threw for 277 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. One of those interceptions was a key interception in the red zone where if we would have just kicked a field goal, we would have took the lead back by 1 point. But no, he throws an interception for a touchback for Maryland. They score a touchdown, and that was at minimum a 10-point swing. Possibly a 14-point swing if we would have scored a touchdown right there. Letty Brown only had 16 carries for 69 yards and 2 touchdowns. You have to give him the ball more. Sam James, even though he dropped the ball at the beginning of the game, still our leading receiver, 5 receptions for 65 yards. Why were we not targeting Prather? Why were we not targeting Sam Brown? Bless his heart, Winston Wright Jr. tried his best to set us up with nice, good field position. He ran a kickoff down to inside the 5-yard line, which we did actually score there, and then ran another one back near midfield. That was the drive where Daggy threw the interception in the end zone. Yes, he muffed a punt, and that cost us. But for the most part, he did what he was supposed to do for the return game. Quarterback Tagovailoa, he had a decent game. 26 for 36 for 332 yards and 3 touchdowns. And their running back, he had a really good game. 18 carries for 123 yards. So Maryland played good enough on offense to beat West Virginia. But really, the story of the game was West Virginia's offense. 4 turnovers. You are not going to beat anybody with 4 turnovers. This reminds me of 2019 with Austin Kendall. Way too many turnovers. Jarrett Daggy has lost confidence. He's not seeing the field correctly. He's not making the correct reads. I really hope to see Garrett Green and Will Crowder get some action in this LIU game coming up. Because Jarrett Daggy, sorry bud, you're not the answer for West Virginia this year. I'm really leaning towards Garrett Green because he's a dual threat quarterback and he kind of reminds me of Pat White. Except he actually has a little bit stronger of an arm than Pat White, and he's a little more accurate. So we could do some big things. And the other thing is, we have to give Letty Brown the ball more. What are we doing inside the red zone with a chance to score, trying to lob one up in the back of the end zone, which was picked off? All we had to do was feed the ball to Letty Brown. That's it. But no, that was a bad play call. That was on coaching and Jarrett Daggy. I'm really hoping that we got the bad game out of our system because that's about as bad as West Virginia could have played. What we saw against Maryland was absolutely the worst we could have played. That cost us the game. 4 turnovers, and we still only lost by 1 possession. So we still had a chance there at the end of the ball game to possibly win it with the touchdown and made an extra point. But the defense got gassed. We couldn't stop them on that last drive. I do not put this loss on the defense. This loss is squarely on the shoulders of the offense and Jarrett Daggy. And if you don't want the Boo Birds to come out, you better put in Green and Will Crowder and figure this situation out. Because we are not prepared to start the season 1-3. That's exactly what could happen if we lose Virginia Tech at home and then go on the road and get blasted by Oklahoma. That would be a terrible, terrible start to the season. We shouldn't have lost to Maryland, but we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. Congratulations to Maryland fans, but if I were y'all, I wouldn't get a big head. This doesn't mean that you're going to have an amazing season. I had y'all going to a bowl. Y'all did just enough on offense, and we made just enough stupid mistakes to let y'all win. So you might want to come back down to earth on that. That was just West Virginia having a terrible, terrible day. So we have to brush this loss off, regroup, figure out who our quarterback is, and we have to beat Virginia Tech and at least be 2-1 going into Oklahoma. 2-2 after the Oklahoma game, that's acceptable after this loss to Maryland. 1-3, not acceptable at all. We have to beat Virginia Tech. And I do trust Neil Brown. He is a pretty good coach, but I think he trusted Jarrett Doege just a little too much in this game, and it came back to bite us. I know he's the one that had the most experience, but he looked lost. He looked like a first day on the job quarterback. So that's our biggest issue, the quarterback. And of course, it's the biggest position. Get it figured out. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on my next show.